Hey guys, Valaris here. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Hecarim game from Chasik2. He is by far the best Hecarim player in Korea and probably the world. He has ended the last 6 straight seasons in Korean Challenger and he is usually sitting top 20 on the ladder. Now in the West, we're used to seeing Hecarim play very farm heavy early, trying to reach 2 to 3 items. But most games in high-elo Korean solo queue are already decided by the 5 to 10 minute mark. So the way Chasik2 plays and builds Hecarim is very different. He rushes Divine Sunderer every game into tanky items like Dead Man's Plate and Force of Nature. Not a lot of Hecarim players still go for Sheen Mythics after his mini rework, but Divine Sunderer is still Hecarim's strongest one item point. It just offers so much damage and durability, and Chasik plays mostly for early game impact. Let's hop into the game. We are working with a K'Sante top into Lee Sin, Hecarim into Viego jungle, Akali into Ryze mid, and Tristana Nautilus into Caitlyn Pyke bot lane. So I think the priorities are pretty clear this game. You're just going to play on your bot, weak side your tank up in the top lane, and play off the strong gank potential and snowball potential of your Tristana Nautilus. Now the problem with games like this always is, because your order of priorities is so clear, everybody on both teams knows exactly what you're going to do. You're going to play for your bot side, right? And when you're playing a champion like Hecarim that kind of likes the full clear, the enemy Viego is going to be very happy to just go for a 3 camp down into the bot side and look for a gank before you can arrive, or look to just invade you on your red buff. So what Chasik likes to do is, instead of pathing down into the lane that he wants to gank, if he does want to look for a level 3 play, he will almost always just start on the side that he wants to gank and run straight into it. So what I'm expecting him to do here is just the red Raptors into Krugs, straight down into the bot lane. He does this very, very commonly. And yep, looks like he's going red into Raptors here. Now, the only problem with this is because he forced his Tristana Nautilus to leash, they weren't able to start in lane, which may mean that I don't know if they're going to be able to hit level 2 in time for the gank. I think that it's oftentimes a little bit nicer just to start leashless on the Raptors. Make sure your bot's able to start in lane. Because in this case, yeah, you can see that Caitlyn has pretty strong wave control here. I don't know if Trist are going to be able to get level 2 in time for the gank. Pyke going in for the hook. Ooh, nice Q buffer from the Nautilus. Hecarim coming in, hasn't popped the ghost yet. Caitlyn flashes into the bush, so he wasn't able to get his E down. Oh, nice flash from the Pyke. Wow. Okay, gets the double stun. Looks like it's just going to be a 1-for-1 trade here. And Viego is coming in, so yeah, looks like Tristana's just flashing out. So I think Hecarim kind of misplayed there. He should have popped his ghost a little bit earlier so that he can pop his E later and then run in behind the Caitlyn, still get the push after her flash. So I think he kind of messed up there. Now you can see there's a huge slow push coming into the bot side. As a jungler here, you cannot go top. If you go top here, under the premise that your camps are up on top side, this game is over at 3 minutes because your Tristana's just going to die here, and even if it's a 1-for-1 trade, she loses the whole wave. Now, do they manage to pick up Viego here? Yeah, nice job, Hecarim, okay. And you can see he just didn't care about his camps. The bot wave needed to be taken care of, so he just sprinted straight back bot. I do think Viego misplayed there. He should have threatened to dive. Oh, hold that thought. It looks like Hecarim's wrapping for another gank. Pyke will be here. Oh, hook into the trap. Nicely done. But Kate is out of mana. Doesn't have flash here. I think Hecarim's going to be able to clean this up. Can he get Pyke as well? Applies the red buff slow. Pyke does not have flash. I think he will go down here as well. Nice. Nicely done from Hecarim. So you can see this guy's order of priorities are very different from what we expect from Western Hecarims, who kind of just like the stable early game and just full clear on repeat to try to scale up. This guy is very, very active. Always looking for ganks, always looking for dives and counter dive potential. But again, I really think that what Viego should have done there is just threaten the dive and then back off. Because as soon as you threaten the dive, the Hecarim has to move over. And Hecarim's going to be stuck on his side with no camps up, and as Viego, you can just retreat and do your camps into Crab. Okay, his blue was taken away. I would expect him to just full clear back down to the bot side here. Enemy bot all missing, everybody in the bot lane missing flashes at the moment, so both junglers should probably just be focusing down into the bot side. Very accelerated opening. He should be happy to take a fight with Viego at the moment, even though he doesn't have Conqueror. He has a very, very strong item advantage. Okay. We have a decent-sized wave coming into his bot lane, but his bot lane is full HP, so I don't think they're diveable. You could try to rush down to try to gank this, though. Oh, looks like Viego's looking for an invade onto the Hecarim here. Okay. Is he going to be able to get his Raptors? Ryze is just... Oh my god, Ryze just flashes straight... Oh my goodness. Really confident from the Ryze. Looks like both mid laners able to pick up the junglers, and Ryze may be able to just pick up the Raptors on the tail end of this. Very, very decisive from the Rise. Playing high-elo Korean solo queue is scary. The laners just go. You saw it from the Pyke, you saw it from the Rise. When these guys get ganked or when there's, like, skirmishes, they just go straight in. Okay. Looks like Tristana Nautilus able to pick up the 2v2 win here. Very nice. If you abandoned your bot and you just called the bot lane gank a fail and you just ran up towards your top side, this game would already be over. Okay. Now, a lot of junglers might look for the dragon here, but your bot lane's really, really low. They have to take recall. Your Akali's stuck under turret, so don't look for dragon. All your camps are down, so just go wherever you think you're going to be able to find a gank. In this case, that's, of course, mid lane. Rise is missing flash from earlier, and it looks like he's not even running through river. He's just going straight at the Rise. Okay, Pyke is here. Akali goes in, and she does manage to pick up the Rise. Can they get Pyke here as well? They do. Very, very nicely done. And this is kind of what Phase Rush lets you do. When you take Conqueror, you have to go at a more careful angle, because if you push people, they'll just go out the other way, right? But when you have Phase Rush, you can kind of just catch up. So that's why this guy takes Phase Rush almost every single game, unless he's into full tanks. Even though you might think that there's a little bit of anti-synergy, it makes sense to go Conqueror with Divine Sunderer and go for just sustained combat power. Phase Rush just lets you change the way that you go for ganks and fights in a pretty significant way, so almost always he'll go for Phase Rush. He may be able to hit level 6 off of this. It looks like it's going to be close, in which case he may look for another quick bot gank, but flashes are back up on the opposite side, so we'll see. Let me turn the ping volume down here a little bit, actually. These are very loud. Okay. Not able to hit level 6, unfortunately. Looks like he's like 1 or 2 minions off, and he seems to be routing back down into the bot lane. I'm curious why he ran around the Tribush, because he's running through it now. So that's a little bit interesting. Okay, Nautilus misses hook. Is he going to go? It looks like he is waiting for Nautilus hook to come back up, as well as just hitting level 6 by leeching minions. Here's the level 6. Okay, here he goes. Nice hook from the Nautilus. And, wow, Pyke just instantly blows up. Can they dive Kate? We don't see Viego yet, so it looks like he's just backing out. Got some action in mid lane. Oh, Viego's here. Yeah, Viego wasn't showing at the time when they were deciding whether to dive the Caitlyn or not. If you knew Viego was already showing top or mid, then you can just let the Nautilus walk in, tank, and dive the Kate. But because we didn't know right away, he just decided to back off and take the recall. Okay, Hecarim opening back up onto the map. He is almost at his Divine Sunderer already, quite accelerated. They could look for a Herald soon. Maybe a mid-gank potential. He does still have his ulti, and Rise Flash is down from earlier at the Raptors. So it looks like he's hunting the Rise. He's in. Ults. Oh, there's Pyke. I think he can still chase this down, though, with his Ghost and Phase Rush. Nicely done. Yeah, and you can see that when the enemy is missing Flash, he just really doesn't care about running through river, potentially alerting them on vision, right? You don't need to look for the flank angle. Hecarim has so many different tools, his E, his R, his Ghost, his Phase Rush. As long as you have a couple of these up and the enemy is missing Flash, you can just go straight, right? Don't risk running over any potential vision in river. Okay, opening up on the Rift Herald. Looks like Pyke Lee Sin are collapsing, so he's just dropping back onto his Gromp and letting his Cassante catch the wave, and they can maybe look for a contest after. Trist could make her way over here as well. She just solo killed the Caitlyn down in bot lane. Doesn't have to open bot. I think she can potentially look for, like, what Trist should do here is she should open towards mid, and if there's a fight, she can participate in the fight. If the red team just backs off, then Trist can run bot and catch the wave. I think what Trist is doing here is a mistake. Oh, let's see that again. What happened here? Kali is quite low. Dodges the stun. Ah, nice play from Viego. Just instant flash stun over the wall. Hecarim gets QRQ'd by Lee Sin and goes down. Now Rise arrives. I think blue team's just going to have to call this a loss and back out. Nicely done from Viego. Very decisive. Can Pyke get anything? Another flash stun from the Pyke. Man, these guys are so decisive with their gameplay. Okay, there's the bullshit Cassante ult. Takes out the Lee Sin on the tail end. But it looks like red team is able to pick up the Herald. I think this was a mistake from the Tristana, to be honest. I think she should have opened mid. Again, you don't have to just run straight to the fight. You can open mid because she didn't have to go for the bot wave right away. If there's a fight, you move over as Tristana. If there's no fight, then you can just run towards bot. Caitlyn very smartly ran up towards the Herald fight, because if she runs bot and Tristana's there, she's just going to get dove 1v1, right? So I think this is a good call from Caitlyn. Hecarim comes in, chooses not to E in. There was a trap there. Okay. Hecarim stealing away the Raptors. I'm expecting moving down to Dragon after, and no, he is looking for Krugs. a little bit strange. I think that it'd probably be a bit better to play down into the Drake here, because you're just giving away Drake for free just in return for Krugs here, which I don't think is worth it. But, I mean, we'll see. Okay. Whole team takes a reset. What do you do from here? I would kind of assume that my bot side is kind of gone and just play up into the top side, see if we can rush for this top lane tier 1. But it looks like they're all running bots. This dragon should be gone before they arrive there. I think that Krugs was a mistake, yeah. Okay, looks like Raptor's gone as well. This is kind of a waste of time. Good respect, I guess. Like, enemy team had tempo advantage down into this quadrant. You have to be very, very careful whenever you're re-entering an area where your team is at a tempo disadvantage. The enemy team had plenty of time to set up vision control and set up position for picks. So you can see some pretty good discipline and respect from Hecarim here. A lot of solo queue players throw from this position. Okay. Starting up on his Krugs. But again, I want to reiterate, I don't think that this entire sequence, I think, was a bit off. They probably should have just moved for the dragon in the first place instead of going for Krugs. And this is just what I was talking about, right? Nautilus, not enough respect, didn't wait for his Hecarim to help him reclaim vision. Walks in, gets picked off, and it looks like... Oh man, this is not looking good. Do they all go down here? Okay. Akali going in. Here is Cassante. Okay, nice champion. Really nice champion. Love it. Love to see that. Can red team get them here? They are very low. Let's see. Nice E. Gale Force picks up the pike. Looks like just 1 for 1. But yeah, that entire sequence, I think, was pretty undisciplined from the blue team. I don't know why Hecarim went for the Krugs. I don't know why he even bothered trying to go down for bot after, when his entire team is entering the area so late. Like, you have to expect most of this to be down. And then Nautilus really should have waited a little bit longer for Hecarim to clear out his Krugs before trying to reclaim vision in the tri-bush, because this team was so off-tempo entering the area. Choosing to ignore his top side, going for the bot side crab. We have a lane swap, Cassante down in bot, Akali up in top, and Tristana heading towards mid. Oh, nice hook from Nautilus. I think Vehicle just gets 100-0 here, no? Nice E from Hecarim. He does go down to the Lee Sin. This is getting really, really messy, though. Like, Cassante was 1 HP down there. Akali was up in top lane. Like, these guys are not really playing on the same page at the moment. I think they really should try to slow the game down, play a little bit more stable, and play on the same timers, right? Be together as a team. Tristana is still very, very strong. Akali is very strong. If I was Hecarim here, I would just mostly be playing on my mid bot and trying to match timers with either Akali or Tristana. You can either hover the Tristana and try to facilitate her push, or you can kind of shadow the Akali and look for some like 2v1 plays in the side lane, right? Either one of those seems appropriate, and you just leave your Cassante to side lane alone. Okay, Hecarim clearing back down, and we'll see how he elects to play this. Let me fast forward just a little bit. Akali going down here. What happens? Kate was waiting in the bush. Lee Sin's here as well, and they just go for the fast 2v1 pick onto the Akali, right? Cassante was not in lane yet. Mid lane, Tristana didn't have push going yet, and Akali just went up one wave too early. She needed to wait like 15-20 seconds before moving up. So red team capitalizing very well. You can see they're moving together as a team. They always have man advantage, and blue team is just not really playing disciplined and respectful. They keep getting caught out, and the gold gap has closed quite a lot. The game is quite even by this point. I think there's really a lot to take away from how the red team is playing the game. I get a lot of questions about how do you play when you have 3 losing lanes, and I think this game is a pretty good example of it. When you have superior scaling and good wave clear, you can kind of just play defensive and try to stall the game out, but we can see here that red team has a really, really awkward team composition. Their wave clear is poor, and they don't have a clear scaling advantage into the late game either. So the way they've managed to catch up into this game is mostly just by being first and attacking the blue team before they're able to properly set up their lanes. If you allow blue team to just push out their waves uncontested, then Hecarim and Nautilus can just establish control in the enemy jungle quadrant in between the Tristana and Akali, and then the lack of wave clear on red team means the blue team will always have a significant tempo advantage after pushing out each wave, and eventually that's going to spill over into free picks, towers, neutral objectives for the blue team. But it's really important to understand that push in League is not constant. Even when a team is winning, they eventually have to take recalls to spend their gold and heal up in between plays. And once they're back out onto the map, They have to push the lanes back out again before they can establish control in river and the enemy jungle. So red team is constantly attacking this. When the blue team reset late for dragon, the red team set up vision control and position for picks in the bot side jungle. And then when the blue team was trying to push out their lanes, red team is setting up in the lane bushes in advance to try to make picks. So yes, blue team is making lots of mistakes here, but this is a challenger Korean team. If they're making these mistakes, I promise you, the enemy teams in your games are as well. So instead of focusing on, oh wow, these players are not perfect, try to learn from what the enemy team is doing here and add that to your own playbook as a jungler. There's really a lot you can take away here. Okay, we'll see how this plays out. Nice hook from the Nautilus. Hecarim, I think he was a little bit low on that ulti. Could have hit a couple more people. He'll force in from the Tristana, and they do clean up the fight. Yeah, as soon as they grouped up and played together, sure, that fight wasn't perfect. Hecarim able to clean up the Viego on the tail end. It wasn't perfect. I think the Hecarim ulted kind of low, but, you know, they're 5. They are still ahead. Their mid and bot are super, super strong, so they just end up winning the fight. And this is how they should have been playing the whole time, and this game would look a lot less sketchy. Okay, Dragon coming up soon. How did Tristana get so low there? It looks like she just tried to jump on the Caitlyn. This is a little bit unfortunate, because if Trist is this low, I don't know if they can still go for the dragon. Yeah, so she jumps on Caitlyn, drops the exhaust, but Caitlyn drops the trap. Okay, can they still look for the dragon? There's a TP in from the Ryze, it looks like. Yeah, that's not the greatest. I think that after the Rift Herald, what would have been great is if they ran central, helped push in the wave, and then just rotated straight down for the dragon. At this point, they may actually have to give up the dragon because of the Ryze TP. Akali going in without her team again. Does pick up the Caitlyn, though. There's another hook on the Ryze from Nautilus. And does he go down to K'Sante? Doesn't have flash, I think. Oh, here's Lee Sin. 2 tanks. I don't think they have the damage. Hecarim is coming, though. Tristana coming over as well. Can they get anything here? Gets rooted up. Ooh, and there's the hook from the Pike. This is... Wow, again, right? They just made a good play as 5, and they won the Rift Herald fight, but then they played alone again. Akali going in by herself, and then after she died, K'Sante Nautilus tried to fight by themselves. Then Hecarim came in, like, just one by one, they're falling like dominoes. They really just need to play together, man. Either you play together as 5, or you try to sync up your pushes if you're going to be split pushing and playing 1-3-1 or 4-1. Right? But when they're playing split, the Kali is going in too early. When they're playing together, people are going in too early as well. So they've kind of thrown away their massive early game lead. Not really what you want to see. But I guess that means we get to see some more Hecarim gameplay. Okay, Hecarim completing his Dead Man's Plate here. It's not the itemization that I like to go for. Like, I really prefer going for Sunderer Cleaver into items like Frozen Heart. I like combat items a bit more, but Chasik2 tends to go for a core of Sunderer, Dead Man's Plate, and Force of Nature. We'll see how it works out this game. It does let him cross-map a lot faster. If you're playing for full 5-man team fights, then Blue Pet and DMP don't do that much for you. But if Akali's going to be splitting, K'Sante's going to be splitting, then the Cloud Map, the Blue Pet, the Dead Man's Plate are going to let you rotate so quickly as Hecarim. Alright, ults in. One-shots the Caitlyn here. Nicely done. Spamming Q a little bit. Kites out. Looks like he's waiting for his E and W, and he's going to re-enter. Nice. Yeah, Hecarim really plays on his EW cooldown. You go in with them, you Q, you auto a little bit, and when it looks like you're dropping low, just kite back out and re-engage once your E and W are back up. Nicely done, blue team. Looks like they're going to be able to take this tier 2 turret as well. Then look for resets and maybe play up into the Baron, because they have no dragons right now. They can't really threaten Soul. I think that you just play on Baron by this point. Slash play for the split. 1.6k. I'm assuming he's just going to build into Fawn here, based on how I've seen him itemize in the past. I think an Anathemas is not too bad here either, since Ryze is solo AP. So the HP from the Anathemas is going to work against the entire enemy team. We have quite a bit of CC lockdown on blue team, so I think against solo AP like Ryze, Anathemas may be a better purchase than Force of Nature here. But he kind of itemizes quite similarly from game to game. Yeah, looks like he is going into Force of Nature. Alright, reopening on the map. He is a bit off tempo, so hopefully his team waits for him a bit. Now, his team is a little bit behind on the map, since Akali chose the group and Lee Sin was pushing down bot. So we'll see what they do here. K'Sante gonna take the recall to catch the wave. Okay. And Hecarim just kind of hovering between his lanes, between his Tristana and Akali at the moment, which I do think is correct. Okay. And having DMP and Blue Pet is so nice for situations like this. You can make your way onto either lane very rapidly. But Akali goes in too early again and goes down. Kind of the story of this game. Trist gets hooked. Viego ulting out. Another massive stun from this Pyke. This Pyke is really doing work. But, wow, what happened there? That was looking really good for red team for a moment, and then they just died. Let's see here. Okay, they walked in, and Hecarim and Tristana just turned at the same time. Big, big damage. Okay. A little bit sad for red team. That looked like pretty good setup from them, but their backline was just chunked too low, and they walked in trying to follow up on the Pyke stun, and they just went down. Okay, so this should be a pretty free Baron for the blue team. Okay, has to flash out. Is Kate able to pick up anyone? Nope. This is getting a little bit dicey. Okay, he does manage to get the chase down onto the Lee. Or not. Kate goes down to Cassante, and Lee does manage to get away. Now, Viego is back up, and Ryze is respawning soon, so we'll see if blue team elects to force this Baron, or just clear out some vision and see if they can find another pick. Looks like they are looking for a pick here, not able to get the Pyke. Okay, looking for a turn onto the Ryze. Ooh, he gets slowed, and they are able to pick him up. Nice job, blue team. This should be a pretty free Baron at this point. What I would like to see, since Viego is alive, is once Baron is at around half HP, Cassante should go to the other side of the wall and basically just play bouncer, right? Once Baron gets low, Cassante can R him over a different wall, make sure he doesn't have any opportunity to go for a smite steal. Ooh, he gets hooked over the wall. That's a little bit unfortunate. Drops quite low. Viego may have a chance for a steal now. Another hook from Pyke. Oh, and a good buffer from Nautilus on his Q. Everybody hopping over the wall. Are they able to pick up Viego here? Nice job. Good discipline from the blue team, right? They slowed down the DPS on the Baron, then they all hopped over the wall and looked for the fight first. They didn't risk any kind of steal. Always remember, when you have a 5v4 at Baron or Dragon, it doesn't mean that Baron or Dragon is free. All it means is that if there's a fight, you have a combat advantage. So if the enemy team chooses to back off and not take the fight, then you have a free Baron or Dragon, right? But you don't skip steps. If the enemy team comes in, you look for the fight first. Don't force your jungler into a 50-50 smite fight situation, right? Always take the fight first. Okay. Now, death timers are quite low, so I don't think they can mount a full Baron push here, so I'm expecting them to just take this dragon and look for a reset and come back out onto the map 1-3-1. Probably Cassante up top, Akali down bot, Tristana mid, and Hecarim hovering between Akali and Tristana is what I am expecting to see. They could also just send Akali with the Tristana and Hecarim and have Cassante solo splitting, since Akali doesn't have TP, in which case you'd see Cassante top and the rest of the team bot, or vice versa, right? Since the tier 2s are up top bot, but not mid. So I could see either way here. Alright. Hecarim resetting back out. He does have his Force of Nature now, and it looks like he is building into Kempunk Chainsword. Okay. Looks like we have Akali top, Cassante bots, Tristana pushing up mid, hovering just a little bit, waiting for her team to push up, waiting for Hecarim to get near, so good discipline from the Tristana, and Hecarim is hovering. Okay. What? Akali getting caught in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why she was rotating over instead of on the... Cassante TPing to his own tier 2 turret. What? Oh no. I feel like this is the 4th time this game that I've had to say Akali gets caught out before her team gets in position. I don't know what she was doing rotating over instead of just pushing out the wave, right? Like, all she needed to do there was Hecarim is hovering the Tristana, so let the Tristana push the wave in, the enemy team will have to respond and catch the wave, right? So your team's going to have tempo advantage, and the Nautilus and Hecarim can slowly kind of lean over to your side of the map and guarantee you safety on your own push. But Akali randomly rotating through the jungle without securing lane prio or vision control in the jungle first, gets caught out, and then Cassante panic TP'd to tier 2 or something. There was a wave here, there was a wave up top, there was a ward here. I'm assuming he just misclicked onto the tower. Really not what you want to see. That was a really strange sequence. So great for blue team now. I think Baron is almost timed out as well. Dragon is not up for another 3 minutes, so what can blue team play for here? I mean, I guess they just push the lanes and look for some picks, and that's about it. I don't think they're quite strong enough to look for a full push without Baron. Very unfortunate. Okay. Hecarim resetting back out. Not quite enough for his Kempong quite yet. Looks like the team is centralizing. K'Sante is deciding to stay with the team since he has no TP right now, and Akali splitting with her TP. Okay. Slowly pushing up, clearing out some vision. Adla's ulting the Pike, not the greatest target. He just goes out over the wall, so nothing really happening there. And Akali getting caught out again. I mean, full credit to the red team, right? They are consistently... Oh my god, K'Sante, you bullshit, disgusting champion. Okay, Tristana going down. Oh, this is not looking good. Akali, please. The blue team is just at the mercy of their Akali right now, just waiting on her to grow a couple brain cells and wait 5 seconds for them. Okay? Again, full credit to red team, right? All throughout the game, they've been in position, right? Before blue team is able to mount a full push onto the mid turret, they get in position and pick off the Akali again. But Akali really needs to learn by this point to just back. Not bad. Are they able to grab Viego? Nautilus flashing out. Hecarim running off. I think he should be able to kite this out. No problem. Oh, misses the one shot onto the Viego. Oh no. Okay, gets kicked over the wall. That's really unlucky. Oh, I really... This Akali is like depressing me right now. Just wait, please. She is searching for a pick on the tail end. They're going to have to wait for Hecarim to come back up. So let's fast forward just a little bit here. Dragon is coming up. Akali does still have TP. Okay, so it looks like we're going to have a dragon fight. See how this plays out. Nice hook from the Nautilus. Gets the Viego. Hecarim ulting in onto Ryze. He does hit the stopwatch. Okay, Caitlyn's still full HP in the back, DPSing. Oh my god. Viper with the nasty Gale Force. One-shots the Tristana. This is not looking good. This Caitlyn is so scaled by this point. Okay, K'Sante able to live on the back end, actually. Hecarim kiting out. Alright. No, K'Sante does go down to the Lee Sin. Man, this Caitlyn is so scaled. That was a really, really nice play from the Caitlyn, though. Just 100-0ing the Tristana in 1 second. Okay, so they're going to have to give up this dragon. That's third Drake over to the red team. I think Hecarim should just look for a setup onto the Baron by this point. This game is looking pretty tough. Alright, looking for a fight with the Lee Sin. I don't think he has enough damage since he has a relatively tanky build here. But he's not going to go down either, just kind of fighting back and forth. We have a TP in from Akali. Gets kicked. And goes down again. Okay. That probably means a free Baron for the red team here. I mean, I can respect the attempt, but that's really unfortunate. Okay, so looks like red team is looking for the tier 2 turret first, and I think blue team's just going to have to give this up. They do have TP on K'Sante here, but they have quite a bit of combat power missing from the Akali. Alright, looks like they are actually looking for a contest here. Nautilus gets hooked. Just gets one shot. Hecarim running out the other way with Phase Rush. They're still looking for a contest here. Oh man, 3-man ult from Hecarim gets both Viego and Caitlyn. They are turning this 3v5 right now. They pick up the Lee Sin. Wow. Okay, that is not what I was expecting. Ryze ulted over the wall with the Pike, I think, looking for a chase onto the Hecarim. And then Caitlyn got knocked up by the Baron and Hecarim chain ulted. Let's see this again. Okay, so Ryze ulted over. Caitlyn got knocked up, got Nautilus ulted by the Baron. Baron's the MVP here. Hecarim chain CC'd with his ult. Viego and Caitlyn went down, and they just cleaned up the fight. Oh my goodness. Of a misstep from Ryze, plus just like a god tier play from the Baron. Good job, Baron. They're missing their mid laner, but they have an extra unit in Baron. Okay. Hecarim chasing down the Rise. And is that GG? I don't think so. 20 seconds. These guys don't have TP to move over. Yeah, so they're just going to look for the free Baron here. Okay. And then expecting to see a reset here. Hecarim counter jungling the red buff. And hopefully Akali waits for him here. Oh, finally. She learned. Okay. Tristana taking a reset, so blue team should just kind of play the safe, maybe get some vision control, but don't push up too far, right? If the enemy shows up, just back off. You don't want to get picked off here. By this point, both ADCs very, very strong. Caitlyn doesn't quite have her LDR yet. Oh, she actually picks up Mortal Reminder here, so both AD carries at full build. And it looks like they just decided, fuck you to the 1-3-1. They've gotten picked off too many times, they just decided to group up. Pretty decent chunk. Hecarim kind of... Oh, man. Okay. Akali does drop the Shroud in time. Enemy team is running her down. Big commit from the Pyke. She flashes over the wall. Stopwatch. Ooh. Big ult from the... Oh, my goodness. Okay, he just one-shots the Caitlyn there. Hits his stopwatch. Nice hook from the Nautilus. Stopwatch from Rise. They do pick him up, and I think that's game. Wow, that's kind of poetic. Like, their entire lead got thrown off Akali getting picked off multiple times, and then they won the game off Akali getting picked off. Let's see that again. How did Hecarim find that angle onto the Caitlyn? Caitlyn died with her flash up. It was a little bit bad. Okay, so let's see here. Red team is hard committing onto the Akali. Tristana is still mid here. Viego flashing over the wall. Quite a big commit into the Akali. Hecarim ults. Lets the fear run, runs past the Caitlyn, and then pushes her back in. Wow. She doesn't have cleanse, she doesn't have QSS, and that's GG. Damn, that was a back and forth. That was not how I expected this game to end. So a ton of throws from the Akali. Again, all credit to Red Team. They got into position to pick her off multiple times, but this time at the very end, Akali's team was actually nearby, and the overcommit onto Akali meant that Hecarim was able to find the angle onto the Caitlyn, and that is the end of the game. Man. Yup. GG. Thanks for watching. A quick reminder that I do coach over at nice.gg if you want to check that out. The link is in the video description below. As always, a big thank you to my patrons for helping to make this channel possible.